Good morning. How are you? How are you doing? It's been so long since I was on here. Unaendeleaje? How have you been since I last saw you? It's been quite a busy period for each and every Kenyan. Ukwaje, how have you been since the previous show? How was the voting process for you? Are you healthy? How are you doing? How are you feeling? We have a new president-elect. We are doing well, as the days go by. Unaendeleaje? Masiku zako zimekuaje? For me, I have been okay. I cannot really complain. Most importantly, I am proud of us as Kenyans. We are doing really well. We started talking about peace. We started preaching peace. And we've achieved it. We can say this far we've achieved to be peaceful keepers of our neighbors. We've moved past everything very amicably, very peacefully. Proud of each and every one of you. Karibuni sana. This is Woman Crush Wednesday. Rise today. I am your host, Nina Gikunda. Feel free to join us on all our social media platforms at KUTV Kenya on Facebook, at KUTV_Kenya on Twitter, and at KUTV Kenya on Instagram. If you want to talk to me personally, you can reach me out. You can reach out to me, at Wangare_Gikunda across all platforms. Over that period, we all came to realize that so many women were on the forefront of leadership. So many women were candidates for governorship, senatorial seats, and also many deputies to these seats were women. So most governors had their deputies as women. We've also seen Nakuru County that has managed to take up so many leadership seats by women. So is this a revolution? Does this go to say something? What are your thoughts? What are your feelings? What do you think this means to our country? What is the future? They say the future is female. Do you think this is the route that we are taking? And are we headed there? What are your feelings? What are your opinions? What are your thoughts? This is the conversation we are going to have today with Rachel and Kalundi. We will be talking about women in leadership, especially during this campaign and election period where we've seen so many women take up the opportunity and stand for themselves and get themselves into these elective seats, which is very beautiful to see. I'd say this is Woman Crush Wednesday, so I'd say kudos to all these women for putting us on the map, somewhere on the map. We're now being seen more, we're now being felt, our presence is being felt more. We also have a conversation with Tony Airo. Tony Airo is a hairstylist. He does kawaida hair, and he also does beauty and wedding stylist. He also recently launched his perfume line that goes by the name Warachi. So he will be with us talking to us about his journey in the beauty industry, especially as a man, telling us about how the journey has been, where he started up to where he is now, the challenges he's faced, the things he's grateful for, the lessons he's learned, and what he's prepared for himself in the beauty industry in the future. I also have a guitarist with us. He will be coming to share with us some amazing music to ease up the tension, to welcome us back to Woman Crush Wednesday. Yeah, so stay tuned. Among the conversation we will have with Kalundi and Rachel, we also get to touch on how to deal with grief after losing in an election as a candidate. Most candidates tend to have invested their all their finances into campaigning and trying to get that seat with the hope to recover once they get these seats, and then they don't get these seats. So how do these individuals get past it? How do these individuals walk out of that stage of losing, having invested their all? I'm sure if most of us are on social media, we've come across so many videos and so much content of these candidates wailing and crying and saying how they put in their all their finances, all their effort, everything they had, and now they have nothing, no money and no seat. So how do they move past? How do they bounce back? How do they go through this grieving process, this loss process. Kalundi will be taking us through that, so stay tuned. But right before we get into all that, we have to look into our COVID updates, then traffic and the news updates. But right now we come back with the COVID updates. Welcome back. We really got to mingle a lot. We really got to mingle through that campaign period, and we were still getting reminded to take care of ourselves, carry a sanitizer. Obviously, I keep saying social distancing was not so practical. Sanitize, wash your hands, take good care of yourself. If you had not been vaccinated, go get vaccinated. And we still keep talking about it. COVID is still a thing. COVID is still out there. It's still amongst us. So it's still upon me and you to take care of ourselves. We wash our hands frequently. You sanitize. You do the things you feel that would work for you in regards to protecting yourself mostly and those that are around you. And you never know, the people around you may be having, conditions and things that you may not expect. So take good care of yourself. So as at 16th of August, we have 5 new cases of a sample size of 775, which is a positivity rate of 0.6%, 57 recoveries, 0 deaths. Cumulative tests are 3,839,597. Total confirmed cases 337,966. Total recoveries 332,160 and 5,673 cumulative fatalities. If we look at the counties, we have out of the 5 cases, 4 are from Nairobi and 1 is from Kericho. In regards to the vaccines, we have 27,087,910 vaccines received. Fully vaccinated adult population is 9,351,562. Partially vaccinated adult population is 2,293,910. Doses administered to teenage population of below 15 years to 18 years. Doses administered is 1,886,816. Fully vaccinated teenage population is 502,819. Booster doses is 1,069,912. Speaking of booster doses, about a month and a half ago, we had a doctor here who taught us about the booster dose, told us the importance of the booster dose. So if you want to get it and you're joining us right now and you didn't manage to watch that particular episode of Rise Today, you can always go to our YouTube channel and you will find this information there. Get to learn why it's important to get a booster dose, get to learn what it does for your body that the vaccine will not do, what more it does, yeah? So the content is there. You can find it on YouTube at KUTV Kenya. You get to learn more on what the booster dose will do. I will be coming back to you with the traffic updates. karibuni sana. We get our traffic updates from Mathri route on Twitter. So if you have any update in regards to what the roads are looking like wherever you are, be sure to tag us at KUTV_Kenya on Twitter, and also tag at Mathri route. Things are getting back to normal. So what are the roads looking like wherever you are? We have jam on Mombasa Road around General Motors. The people are back to business. Looks like everything is getting back to normal. Kids are going back to school tomorrow. People are back to everything, bounced back pretty fast. Mombasa Road from General Motors to town is starting to flow. How is Thika Road? People on Thika Road, what is Thika Road looking like? Is it smooth? How is Jogoo Road to town? How is Ngong Road? Kitengela traffic iko sawa. Business is back to normal. What are the roads looking like wherever you are? Waiyaki Way, Ngong Road again. Kunaendeleaje mahali uko? I don't have much here on Mathri route, but if you have any information that you feel is important to the roads, be sure to tag at Mathri route on Twitter, and also tag us at KUTV_Kenya on Twitter, and let us know what the roads look like. We will be coming back with the news updates shortly. Thank you so much for joining us. It's a pleasure to be here again this very beautiful morning. It is still a little bit chilly, but at this point, I think we're all used to it. We get to look at the conversation on how candidates spent all their investments in campaigns. We have individuals who had not properly prepared because maybe, just maybe, they felt like they were overconfident and they were so sure. Let me spend all I have to get this seat. Let me spend all I have to be the next senator. Let me spend all I have to be the next MCA, to be the next women rep. But then they did not get these elective seats. So what happens thereafter? You've spent you all. You did not invest in anything. There's a story I recently saw of a candidate who was this one was well prepared. He had paid rent 6 months ahead. He had made investments here and there. So when he lost, he was still good to go. He still had about 6 months or more to be able to bounce back. But what about that individual, that candidate that was not well prepared, that candidate that was so sure, I will spend my everything because I will win. I will win. And when I win, I'll be able to get a return of my investment. I will be able to cover for all that I spent. What do these individuals do thereafter? How do they deal with the grief of losing these elective seats? And also, we look at how these individuals, you're used to campaigns, because these people campaigned for quite a long time. It was about a year. So you're used to being out there with the people, you're mingling with people. Every time you get out of your house, mheshimiwa, mkubwa, kiongozi. But that is no longer there. So you're no longer kiongozi, you're no longer that person in your area. You've lost all your money, you've lost all you had. Here you are dealing with your emotions of losing. You've lost contact out there. You cannot face your people anymore. How do you deal with all this? How are you able to how will these individuals be, or how should these individuals be able to take care of themselves in order not to get into depression? How do we as the society and the community welcome them back? How do we give them a soft space to be able to heal and bounce back? We'll be having Kalundi and Rachel, like I said earlier, to take us through this journey on where to start and the things to do and the things that not to do in order to be able to bounce back. So stick around for that conversation, because we are all in the same society and we have these people just around us. So take good care of. Be sure to tune in and wait for this conversation, because I also want to learn, in as much as you also want to learn, on how we can take care of these candidates that did not make it. But before we get into all that, we get into our news updates. Into the news today. Following the Tuesday 9th general elections, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission IEBC Chairman Wafula Chebukati gazetted William Ruto as the duly elected president. Dr. William Ruto and running mate Rigathi Gachagua will be sworn into office in the event a no petition is filed challenging the declaration of the results.
The Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, officially gazetted the outgoing Deputy President, Dr. William Ruto, and his running mate, Rigathi Gachagua, as the winners of the 2022 presidential election, whose results were officially declared on Monday evening. The chairman of the electoral body, Wafula Chebukati, through a gazette notice on Tuesday, said the two were duly elected as president and deputy president, having fulfilled the threshold set under Article 138(4) of the Constitution, which requires that a candidate gets more than half of the total number of votes cast countrywide and at least 25% of the vote cast in each of more than half of the counties.
So, in accordance with the law, the Constitution and the law, I, Wafula Chebukati, Chairperson of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, hereby declares that Ruto William Samoei of ID number 6847208 has been duly elected as the president of the Republic of Kenya under the provisions of Article 138 of the Constitution. In the presidential election,
it was indeed a neck-to-neck race between Deputy President of the Kenya Kwanza camp and the arch rival, the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga of the Azimio One Kenya camp. Dr. Ruto, on his speech, promised to run a transparent and democratic government that shall steer the country forward in the development trajectory.
I want to promise that I will work with all elected leaders and all leaders in Kenya so that we can fashion a country that leaves nobody behind.
In the event the presidential election results are not contested, the president-elect and his deputy will be sworn in on August 30th. Article 141, Section 2(8) of the Constitution, on assumption of the office of the President, provides that the President-elect should be sworn in on the first Tuesday following the 14th day after the date of the declaration of the results of the presidential election if no petition has been filed at the Supreme Court.
Moving on, the head of state across the continent and all over the world have streamed their congratulatory messages to Dr. William Ruto as the president-elect. This comes as the IEBC chairman Wafula Chebukati announced the Kenya Kwanza's candidate as the winner of the 2022 presidential election. The leaders also congratulated Kenya for a peaceful election.
I declares that Ruto William Samoei,
with the IEBC chair Wafula Chebukati declaring Ruto as the winner of the August 9th elections by garnering 50.49% against Raila Odinga's 48.85%, presidents all over the world have been lining up to congratulate the president-elect on his win. The Prime Minister of Ethiopia, Abiy Ahmed, became the first head of state to congratulate Ruto, taking to his social media on Monday to wish him all the best in his upcoming presidential term. He stated, "My congratulations, William Ruto, on your election as the President of the Republic of Kenya. I wish you the best of luck in your endeavors ahead, and we look forward to working closely with you on common bilateral and regional interests." Tanzania President Samia Suluhu and Uganda President Yoweri Museveni are among foreign leaders who congratulated President-elect William Ruto. Taking to Twitter on Tuesday, Suluhu expressed confidence that Ruto will be a reputable leader. She said in a tweet, "I congratulate the people of Kenya on their peaceful general election and the subsequent announcement of William Ruto as President-elect." Yoweri, on the other hand, stated that Uganda is still committed to partner with Kenya and the bilateral cooperation will prove beneficial for both countries. On behalf of all Ugandans, I congratulate Your Excellency William Ruto upon your election as the 5th President of the Republic of Kenya. President of Burundi, General Ivastin, congratulated the President-elect as well as Kenyans as a whole by saying, "My heartfelt congratulations to the President-elect William Ruto and the people of the Republic of Kenya for holding free, fair and peaceful elections. We urge all the parties to preserve peace and disputes be resolved by existing competent legal mechanisms. Idumu Jumuiya yetu." Newly elected President of the Federal Republic of Somalia, Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud, also highlighted his eagerness to work with Ruto. "I offer my sincere congratulations to the President-elect, His Excellency William Ruto, on becoming Kenya's 5th President. My best wishes to you as you begin your tenure at State House. I look forward to closely working with you to advance our partnership in all areas of mutual benefit." His sentiments were echoed by Emerson Mnangagwa, President of Zimbabwe, who stated, "Congratulations to William Ruto on his election as the next President of Kenya. I have no doubt he will serve his country, his people, and our continent with distinction." The President of South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa, emphasized on the important role a peaceful Kenya plays in ensuring the prosperity of not only East Africa, but the continent as a whole. "I offer my warm congratulations to President-elect William Ruto of the Republic of Kenya. A prosperous and united Kenya is an important prerequisite for and contributor to a prosperous and peaceful continent. We look forward to working with you in the pursuit of the Africa we want." With yesterday's presidential declaration marking the official end of the electioneering period, Kenyans and people all over the world remain hopeful of a brighter future for the nation. Irongo Kagodha, KUTV, Nairobi.
Still in matters elections, the Elections Observation Group ELOG on Tuesday released the report on the whole process of the just concluded elections. The observation body, through its chair Anne Iweri, noted that the PVT estimates are consistent with those of IEBC's official results, thereby justifying Ruto's win. They further support the action of declaration by Mr. Wafula Chebukati, underlining that the IEBC chairman is mandated by the constitution to announce the results. According to this body, there is no evidence that the turnout has been manipulated and that they verified all scanned images of Form 34B's results on the IEBC portal. Moving on, there were celebrations in various... I'm sorry for that. There's been a technical issue. Moving on, Azimio presidential flag bearer Honorable Raila Odinga has rejected the recently announced presidential results that were made at the Bomas of Kenya by the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission IEBC chairman Wafula Chebukati. Odinga says the results are null and void and says they are pursuing all constitutional and legal options.
After days of anticipation and patience in Kenya as citizens waited for the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission IEBC to announce the presidential-elect, the commission finally announced Honorable William Ruto as the 5th president-elect of Kenya.
So, in accordance with the law, the constitution and the law, I, Wafula Chebukati, chairperson of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, hereby declares that Ruto William Samoei of ID number 6847208 has been duly elected as the president of the Republic of Kenya under the provisions of Article 138 of the Constitution in the presidential election.
Nataka kuchukua tena fursa hii.
The Azimio la Umoja presidential candidate Raila Odinga has however come out to claim that IEBC chairman Wafula Chebukati's declaration of William Ruto as president-elect is null and void.
Our view in Azimio is clear. The figures announced by Mr. Chebukati are null and void. I repeat, the figures announced by Mr. Chebukati are null and void and must be quashed by a court of law. In our view, there is neither a legally and validly declared winner nor a president-elect.
Speaking on Tuesday, Raila said that Chebukati has no absolute power over other commissioners in what saw 4 other commissioners led by the commission's vice chair Juliana Cherera missing in action at the time Chebukati made the announcement at the Bomas of Kenya. Odinga said the IEBC chair's actions are dictatorial, claiming he could have led the country to violence.
The law is clear on the role of the chairperson of the IEBC. The law does not vest in the chairperson the powers of a dictator to rule the IEBC unilaterally. The IEBC is structured as a democratic institution in which decisions must be taken either by consensus or by a vote of the majority.
On Monday, 15 of August 2022, Chebukati announced Ruto the winner after he garnered 7,176,141 votes against his close rival Raila, who received 6,942,930 votes, which is 48.85% of the votes. Of the 47 counties, Ruto garnered more than 25% of the votes cast in 39 counties, exceeding the minimum 24 counties required by the Constitution. Raila achieved 25% of the votes cast in 34 counties. However, Odinga remains firm that Azimio coalition will not accept the results. Ann Odida, KUTV, Nairobi.
you so much for joining us. We have come to the end of our news updates for today, but for further news, keep KUTV. Stay tuned. We have a bunch of news, we have a bunch of updates the entire day. So stay tuned. Do not touch the dial. Rachel is here with us to talk to us about women leadership. Like I touched on earlier, we have seen in these recently concluded elections that a lot of women stepped up into getting the high elective positions. They were candidates and they won their seats. Nakuru leading in having over 7 women leaders in that county, which is really good, really good. So stay tuned. I will be coming back with Rachel to talk about women leadership.
Kwanza tuende lunch.
Rasha piga shada kuna giza. Tujinai weke story. Kata maji pia shada liko na sio nikosa mko si stress. Kama rende kisha basi nipe.
Big up, Zade, ukiwa Adriva, big up, Sis, big up, Shows, Mama, big up, Oya, wase wote, okay, my principal, big up.
I'll just go to the different achievements I have had, which I'm grateful to the Lord and to my mentors for it, because I've also had mentors for the path that I've actually taken. So I think the biggest for me, I'll start by saying, is the number of women who get inspired by seeing me do what I do, seeing me excelling in renewable energy, in engineering. That's the first achievement for me and the most heartfelt, if I may. There's so much that goes into engineering. There are so many different career paths you can take.
This is my
I will never give up.
everybody wanna feel like me.
You're just like a river.
Real thing, if I never mama, I wouldn't believe it.
So our lobster is ready, our cauliflower is ready, our mashed potato is also ready, and finally our cauliflower puree is ready.
Welcome back. Today's first conversation is walking around women leadership. We had a potential female deputy president as a country. We had Martha Karua, who was the running mate of Raila Odinga from the Azimio team, Blue Team Blue, and I'd like us to see a story that will guide us into the conversation we have today with Rachel in regards to women leadership and how women have decided to step up and get into the space of leading our nation. Let's see the story.
Martha Wangari Karua was born in the 22nd of September 1957 in Kirinyaga district. As the second born to 8 siblings, she started off her education in Mugumo Primary School, then moved to Kabare Girls Boarding School before joining Karoti Girls Secondary School, where she sat for her East African School certificate. She then moved to Nairobi Girls High School, now Kenya High, for her A-levels in 1980. She graduated with a law degree from the University of Nairobi, followed by a postgraduate diploma in legal practice in 1981. After her postgraduate diploma, Mother served as a magistrate in various courts in the 80s until 1987, when she ventured into private practice until 2002. Ms. Karua played a key role in the expansion of Kenya's democratic space and gender issues during the clamor for multipartyism in the 1990s. She portrayed bravery traits as she stood up against late former President Daniel Moi and successfully pushed for a reintroduction of multi-party democracy through combined efforts with other leaders. Karua was first elected as MP for Gishugu in 1992, a position she held until 2013, when she unsuccessfully contested for presidency and finished in 6th position with 43,881 votes. She served as minister in the Ministry of Water and Justice until her abrupt resignation after she fell out with the late former President Mwai Kibaki. She was termed as an iron fist lady of Kibaki's second regime because of her reputation of being tough and her role of defending the government then. In 2017, she contested for the Kirinyaga gubernatorial seat that she lost to Anne Waiguru, an event that led her action of petitioning the High Court to nullify the outcome, citing irregularities, but the court upheld Waiguru's victory. Even after appealing, the Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court also upheld the High Court's decision. She took the matter to the East African Court of Justice in Arusha and sued the government of Kenya of denying her the right to fair trial. The government was found culpable of infringement of this right and was made to pay her 2.7 million for damages. In February 2022, Karua joined OKA as one of the principals before the alliance signing pact with Azimio la Umoja, an event that saw Raila Odinga choose him as his running mate in the 9th August polls.
Welcome back. With me in studio right now, I have Rachel. Rachel Kalundi is a finalist here in KU. She has she's studying Bachelor of Science in Industrial Chemistry with Management. She's here to talk to us about her journey and her thoughts and opinions in regards to women leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, the beautiful Rachel.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you this morning?
I'm fine, thank you. Look lovely.
Thank you. You look amazing.
Asante.
Kindly introduce who is Rachel Kalundi.
Okay, as you have heard, my name is Rachel Kalundi. I'm a finalist student. I'm doing industrial chemistry with management. I'm actually in my final year. I've actually finished. I'm just waiting to go for attachment. I have done a lot of student leadership here in KU, so I'm quite conversant with the student politics. I'm also the chairperson and a co-founder of a CBO called Lampara Kenya that aims at eradicating period poverty, ending teenage pregnancy, and fighting social injustices against women. basically that's rich.
So by fighting period poverty, does it mean you distribute pads and
exactly? So our main aim, the angle that we took in ending period poverty was going in different places in the country to distribute sanitary towels. Yes. And actually, beyond that, we also have mentorship to where we talk to girls about various issues, mostly about menstrual hygiene, teenage pregnancy. Yeah.
Today we get to talk about women in leadership.
Yeah.
And in the just concluded elections, we've seen so many women chase these high seats and high positions, including the story we just saw of Mother Karua.
Yeah.
We were this close to have a female deputy. We were this close, to having a female deputy president.
Yeah.
And then most candidates had their deputies as women.
Yeah,
I realize majority of them had their deputies as women. Then you've seen Nakuru.
Yeah.
Practically almost the entire Nakuru is being led by women.
Yeah.
Totally women. The governor, the senator, the MP,
around five
MCAs. There's also MCAs who are women. Most of the leaders there are women.
Yeah.
And it's not just Nakuru.
Yeah.
So many places.
Yeah.
What does that mean for our country? What do you think?
Okay. Yeah, it makes us feel like we're actually maturing democratically.
Yeah.
Because when you compare, since the promulgation of the new constitution, we have had the rise of women in politics, So, like, for instance, when you compare the number of women in 2013 and 2017, let's take, for instance, the gubernatorial positions.
Yeah.
We have 7 women who are governors.
Yes.
And that's a small but significant improvement from the 2013 elections, where we had 3 governors. So it speaks quite well of us as the Kenyan citizens, because when we have when we have more women taking part in politics, it means that we will have more issues being addressed, and not just on one side, but a full representation of the whole country. And especially for the coming generation, it's encouraging. It's really encouraging, and it opens a wide door for not only women but also men to come forward and take up the leadership positions. Yeah, so it's quite encouraging.
Do you think we're headed to achieving
the 2/3?
Yeah, the 2/3 and the gender equality.
We are headed there, and one thing I've actually observed is that the Kenyan voter is maturing a lot. Is maturing a lot, because I'm sure if you go to Nakuru, let's take Nakuru for instance, because that's
the best example we have right now.
Example. Yeah. I am very sure when majority of the voters were going to the ballots and voting for those women, they weren't voting for them because they are women.
They were not going there saying we want Nakuru to be led by women.
Yes, they were voting because they came out as good leaders, and slowly by slowly we are deconstructing that patriarchal mentality in our African setup, because if you can actually, if you're moving away from that mindset of huyu ni mwanamke, hiyo kiti ni kubwa sana, so we are headed there. It's the right step in the right direction. That's what I must say.
Do you think one of the reasons why? Do you think there were people who thought, I won't vote for Team Blue because they would not want a female deputy president?
I really don't think so. I really don't think so, because one thing for sure is that Martha Karua has a track record.
Yeah.
Yes. She's a woman who has worked diligently, and she delivers. She's a hard worker. So let me not act so much as a victim because of a woman and say it's because she was a woman. No, I don't really think so, because if it was so, we could have easily had other women who are voted in not being voted in just on the basis of them being women. And actually, if you look at the women who have been elected, they were going head to head with strong political men.
Yes.
For example, the Embu governor,
Nyawera Mwangaza. She has beaten an incumbent, Kiraitu Murungi, and also the senator. Yes, and also the senator was vying. So, and she was going on an independent ticket, meaning she defied the UDA wave that was in that area. You see, so women can actually fight. Can actually fight for this position. We're defying the norm where they say women are the weaker gender. Exactly, and we're defying that in so many ways, And I don't think at this point we can actually say that a woman who was not voted was voted because she was voted out because she was a woman. We cannot say that. Yeah, what are some of the challenges you think the women face in leadership in Kenya? A lot. Such as which being looked down upon being one of them. Yeah, and you can say like the political sphere is quite hostile, and it's too rough. It's too rough. It is quite rough. And I think that's one of the major challenges that women face. And this challenge, the hostility entails things such as sexual assault, and you find that if you want to put a woman down, you put, I don't know the right word to say, but you use her sexuality. You just pull out that card. Yes, that kind of tulimona wapi na nani, it quite knocks out a lot of women, but that is one of the challenges that I can see. Whereby you've worked your way up, but then everyone will say, no, she slept her way up. Exactly, Yeah. So you find that most women who make it to the top political seats, they are really accused of a lot of promiscuity, if I might say that, which is not really true, because you can't say all to what women. Extent really are you going to sleep your way to the top? To what extent? And also another thing, there's patriarchy. There's patriarchy in Kenya, but I like the fact that it's so strong. Yes, and I like the fact that you're actually defying all these odds and still coming up, And one thing I really don't appreciate is the fact that we say that part of the job description as a politician is you have to keep fighting for your life. I don't think so. We have to move away from that. We don't have to have such a hostile, because you want to become a politician or you want to take part in leadership, you have to put it at the back of your mind. You're fighting for power. Exactly. It doesn't have to be that way. Yeah, so the challenges are there, but regardless, I'm proud to say that women have constantly proved that they are worth a seat at the table. Yes. Do you think the government policies that are there favor women, especially the women in leadership at the moment? I can't say favor per se, but I can say they are creating a conducive environment for more women to come up and take up leadership. I think other than I think it's Article 97 of the Constitution, whereby other than the constitutional quota of having women representative in every constitution, I don't think there's any other really policy that the government has put into place. And if it's there, I'm going to research on it. But all I can say is that the government is really trying to create a conducive environment where more women can come up. But actually, we can do better. Yeah, we can actually do better. Yeah, and as a suggestion, I think a way in which we can actually encourage more women to come up is by, not leaving the slightest room for women to be harassed in these spaces. Because if you actually do research, most women fear to come up, especially in electoral politics, because of that hostility that is there. Why would you get roughed up by men and you can stay peacefully? Yeah, and that's why you find that very strong female politician are retrieving to the women representative position because it's safer. It's theirs, and that is depriving us a lot of great women leaders. What if those women can become? Okay, I'm not saying the women rep is a small position. It is a big position. It is. But then it's also important for us as women to fight for the governor seat, to fight for the senatorial seat and even the presidential seat.
Presidential.
It's been a minute since we had a female presidential candidate.
And we will.
We should.
And even a president, I am seeing it. We're headed there.
I can't remember which country it is that has the entire upper leadership is made of women. I cannot remember the country.
I also can't remember, but I remember reading about it.
I've also read about it, but then I cannot remember it clearly. But as we try to remember it, do you think women are supportive of fellow women when it comes to leadership?
Absolutely. They are. You know, I've actually seen, I've actually been really active in this campaign period, the 2022 campaign period, and I've actually seen women coming up for fellow women a lot. Because, for example, somebody like the governor-elect of Machakos, Sovinya Ndeti, most of our inner circle of the people,
women.
Yes, watu wenye walikuwa wanaenda na all places, most of them are women, and I think women are actually supporting each other a lot. I've not seen.
There's always been that norm that women never support women that are higher than them. And I'm sure you've heard of it.
Yeah, I've heard of it, and it's quite retrogressive. And I think we should move away from that, you know, and because majority of voters in Kenya are women.
Yeah.
So if we actually one day we woke up and decided, you know what, we're having a female president, imagine the world.
It would.
Yeah, so there's no way as the success of a fellow woman would intimidate you. It's not practical.
Yeah.
It's not right. But women are actually stepping up and supporting their fellow women.
We are defying the notion that women cannot support fellow women.
Exactly.
Women are known to be nurturers. Women are known to create growth. And now that we have a lot of women leaders in our country, do you think they will really create big impact to the country at the moment as we are moving forward now, as we witness them go through their 5 years?
Yeah, okay. I'm quite positive.
I'm also pretty positive.
I'm so optimistic that they will, because there is no better tool for propagating the country forward than women empowerment.
Yes.
You know, instinctively women are they respond to issues quite fast, you know, and there are so many issues in this country that cannot be fully catered to without the help of a woman.
Yes.
You know, and let me use this as an example. Things such as the period poverty. I think when we have more women, they'll be able to understand.
Fight for.
Yes, bring out policies that, you know, create a more conducive environment for everyone in this country. I won't just say for women, for everyone in this country. Things such as pads should not be taxed. You understand?
Yeah, yes.
We should go back and revise the reproductive health care bill again, you know. So we are anticipating to see a lot of change, because as much as men are the majority and they are leaders by nature, there are so many issues. There are important issues that
the shoe does not fit them, it fits us.
Exactly.
Yes.
You know, and if we are the majority, and if we keep on increasing the number of women, it means that we increase our power to bargain, you know, and actually
and the ability to create awareness to these people and show them how heavy these issues actually are.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. And there's just some softness, which is our strength, that a woman is able to present, and you're able to see how heavy
the matter is.
Yes. Yeah.
We were having a conversation with someone a couple of days back, and they asked me, the women have really been empowered. The women empowerment has become so strong, and there's the obvious notion that who is catering for the boy child? And this particular person asked me, who will marry you if all of you women decide to become powerful? Do you think that is a problem? Has the girl child been over empowered to the extent where we are intimidating the under-catered for boy child?
No, I don't think,
for lack of a better word.
I don't think, and actually I was thinking about it as I was coming here. I don't think anyone is intimidating anyone. Look, for instance, we have 47 counties.
Okay,
just 7 governors.
No, let me tell you, if you do your research properly, you'll notice most of these and forgive me if I'm wrong, most of these women in high positions are second and third wives.
Okay, Kihika is the only wife to.
I have said forgive me if I'm wrong. Forgive me if I am wrong.
I don't think so.
Correct me if I am wrong.
I really don't think so. And first of all, I really find it emasculating for men who come to me and ask me, but you women have been empowered too much.
I've also heard that a lot.
What are you doing to the boy child?
Yeah.
If you find that, you as a man, if you find that there's a problem with the men in the not being empowered, you can as well as take it up to you and go to empower. So why are you putting that burden on me? That because I do a lot of women empowerment, mentorship, and such kind of stuff. Don't come and ask. I'm sorry. Don't come and ask me about the boy child. I relate so much to issues about the women. And let me tell you, I was listening to Chimamanda, and she was saying that she's often asked, do you think you intimidate men that you're attracted to? And she said, first of all, a man who will be intimidated by me is not a man that I'll be attracted to. So I would also pose a challenge to men. Why should the success of a woman intimidate you? Like, you men are here winning and doing great stuff, and we are never intimidated by you. Or
in fact, it's more fascinating.
Yeah, it's more fascinating.
Yes.
So let me ask you, if you are a man, would you rather get married to a woman who is shrinked and less empowered, or wouldn't you want a dominant woman? Okay, not a dominant to the point of
a dominant out there, but submissive in the house.
Yeah, so actually
a woman that's winning outside.
Exactly, and let me tell you, we have to move away from that mentality of men feeling they're being intimidated, and also encourage women to not feel
intimidated by the fact that men are being intimidated.
Exactly,
Yes.
I think we should really move away from that.
And also the boy child, or rather the men, should work on, if it is being seen that girls are being over empowered, the men should also work towards over empowering the boys that are not empowered, or rather feel that they're not empowered.
And then another thing I usually say is that right now the world is in a crisis. It's not a question of who is a man, who is a woman. It's a question of who has the solutions, And I think and I think if both men and women play their roles, none will ever have to feel intimidated. For example, let's say I'm a very powerful woman. It's okay, and I'm married and I have kids. This is my job and this is my family. So there's no way these two will ever mix up. So I'm bossing out there, I'm doing great, I'm doing my responsibility as a governor, but when I'm at home,
I'm a mother and a wife.
I'm a mother and a wife. And also for men, when you're in the house, you're a man, you're a provider. You're
a father,
and a husband.
You will leave the CEO at the door.
Exactly. So I'm thinking of I think the only solution to this is, as long as you're doing your responsibilities right, why should you be intimidated? Why should you come and ask the question, do you think the boy child is being outshone by... No.
Because there's that question a lot. Like, I've heard that a lot. Who will marry you?
Who will marry you? And it's not even a question of who will marry. I think we are moving to a point of we understanding that there are more important issues in our lives other than getting married.
Yeah, true.
It's no longer so much of like, oh my God, we're not living with that mentality. We teach girls, just as Chimamanda says, we teach girls to be so much worried about, oh my God, I'm going to be so powerful, who's going to marry me? Why don't we teach boys, you're being so careless and reckless, who will accept to marry you?
Oh,
you understand?
Yes,
exactly. So I think even the way we are raising our children and this generation is too, how do I call it? I don't know how to say, but it's imbalanced. There's no way you can teach women to be strong, independent, and outspoken, and you don't teach boys how to live with empowered women. Don't teach boys that it's okay that nowadays women actually fetch for themselves. Nowadays women don't actually need you to actually actualize their dreams, and they also up their game.
And they also need to be empowered on also how to be equally outspoken, equally out there, like the older generations of men.
And that let me just say this. And actually, if you notice, in communities where women are winning, that is a winning community, because automatically, if you elevate a woman, you elevated the whole community. You know why? Because, for example, men have that ego, so if they say, for example, Rachel is winning, hey, she built a house, automatically the man will also work harder to build a house for themselves. So you find that's positive competition.
It is. How do you think we can encourage women to vie for these selective positions? How do we encourage the women who are still trying to identify their niche in leadership? How do we encourage them to actually get out there and fight for these positions? We've said we are not fighting and get these positions,
and actually go and get this position. First of all, just as we began by saying, we have so many women who have been elected into leadership. I think they should act as role models, first of all. Show us that after you've been elected, this is how you can work, this is how you can grow your community, and also go back and empower more women. It shouldn't just be your story may share hapo. Women should also encourage more women to come forward and vie for this position, mentor them, encourage them into leadership. So I think of it as a ripple effect. The more we elevate women, the more they should also come back and
they are the doors that are opening for other women.
Exactly, that is one. And I think second, we should also, the second challenge I would pose to those women themselves, liberate yourself from the thought that you are not sufficient enough. If other people are actually doing it, you can also do it. If you feel like it's your calling to take part in politics, please do it.
Go for it.
You don't have to. There's no that perfect time or that perfect person.
But it's never the right time. Just go for it.
Exactly. And also, we work so hard at demystifying myths surrounding women leadership, and patriarchy is slowly ending.
It is.
So what I would say to women who want to take part in leadership or politics, imagine, go for it. There isn't a perfect motivation. I think women who have gone ahead of us have already created the path
motivation
for us. So up to this point, I don't think there's a woman who should use the excuse of
I can't do this, I'm a woman.
I'm trying to think of motivation, but I mean, there's none really, because the motivation, we have already seen it in 2022.
Yes,
with all those women, and there is even the constitution quota of 47 women reps. That's enough. And not enough, we can have more, but it's encouraging.
Do you think there are social biases that hinder women from getting into these positions of leadership, not necessarily in politics, but all-roundedly as a CEO, as managers? Do you think there are social biases that...
Yes, they are there.
Such as...
for example, you find that when a woman, there's those... she will rule us with her emotions. Huyo atakuja kutugonganisha hapa sisi wote. There's that idea. I'm sure you've also experienced it.
Yes.
That women rule with their emotions, and if you put her in a leadership space, she's going to come and kosanisha sisi wote. For example, I was reading a tweet that somebody was saying in Nakuru, women you've read my mind. What you read my mind? I was actually about to say, I was waiting for you to finish that. I read that tweet.
Mine was different. Mine was saying in Nakuru, when it's that time of the month, I think everyone will have to move out of Nakuru.
Or women will not be talking to each other.
I've also seen that.
Like, those are social biases. And another thing that also, though we are moving away from it, that you can't vie for a seat. For example, me, I'm unmarried, and if I want to vie for a seat in my...
You have to be married.
Exactly.
You have to show that you can actually run a family to be able to run a county.
And I don't understand
well.
it's the relation between me being married and actually being able to do administrative jobs.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, but those are things that we are working so hard at demystifying. Yeah, so they are there, but I encourage women, let those not be reasons as to why you shouldn't go and get it.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
And let me just encourage people to move away from such kind of utterances. They might seem fun, we will read them and laugh, but
there's people who don't take jokes.
Yeah, there's people who will take it personally, because somebody will be like, wow, so when I'm going to vie for this seat,
this is what they're going to say about you.
Yeah, and it's not okay.
And okay, we like to say it's never that serious, because honestly it's never that serious.
Yeah, it's never that serious.
It is, but it is not at the same time. It is, but it is not. As we wind up this conversation, I'd like you to talk to that girl out there. That girl out there who has a dream to be a leader one day and is wondering, where do I start? What do I do?
Yeah.
What step do I take first to be able to, be a leader somewhere?
Yeah. Okay, first of all, it's quite noble for a young girl to actually believe in themselves to the point of they think they can make good leaders. First of all, if that's you are actually on the right path. And I think if you want to take part in leadership, and especially the electoral politics, put yourself out there. Be very unapologetic about you wanting to take part in leadership. Be very unapologetic. Focus on exactly. And then also you have to bring value. As a leader, people will only choose you if they think you're adding a certain value to them. So find your niche as a leader. What problem are you actually solving?
Yes.
For example, if it's about food security, you can come up with project. Like I was reading an article of this young girl who actually decided to solve hunger issue in their community by creating a certain app that connects farmers to institution. And she was a very young leader, a very young girl. So if that's your passion, find a certain problem that you can solve. Put yourself out there.
Start with where you are.
Yeah, start with where you are. It doesn't leadership, and I say leadership does not have to be so loud and so so bold. It starts small. It starts small with where you are in your school, at home. Yeah, and invest in yourself more. Read books, attend seminars, interact with people who are going to build you, and keep the right company.
Yeah.
So I think that personally, I think me as a young woman leader who is aspiring to get into the bigger political sphere in future, that's what I will tell my younger self. Yeah, to go out there, you're going to face a lot of challenges. People are not going to believe in you as much as you believe in yourself, but
and
still
you will not receive the reception
exactly
that you imagine that you deserve.
And actually that was one of my biggest challenges, is that
in your head people will receive you, people will accommodate you, and then you get into the space, shock. But still you have to go for it. Yeah, because eventually God will open a door for you that everyone will be forced to actually look back. We had Lynette Chapter, the youngest 24-year-old MP.
Women rep.
It's women rep.
Women representative of a whole county. Yes.
She's also an MP. She was,
she was a women rep. Yeah. And actually I was listening to the BBC news yesterday where she was being interviewed, and she was saying people did not believe in, and that they were telling her that you're not yet married, take time so that you get married, there's no need for us to invest so much in you like this, and then you get married and go to another community. So first of all, take time. You're young, the people who are older than you, let them. I was listening to her and she was even crying when she was telling her story yesterday, and that's just an example of not many people believe in you, but Go for it. Pray hard. Pray hard. And
pray hard and play equally hard. Do you think Kenya is ready for a Kenyan women president? Do you think Kenya is ready for a female president?
They have always. I was actually listening to.
Don't just look at the young sphere. The young people are ready, but include even the old people, the older generation, especially the older. For us, the younger generation is easy to blend into it, but then the older generation,
are we ready? And I think we are ready. Honestly, I think we are ready, and it is constantly being demonstrated by how women are coming up to take up various leadership positions. It is being demonstrated by how every day the problems that are quite dominant in our community are being solved by women. And in the same way Martha Karua said, where did we as a nation sit down and agree that we are ready for male leadership? We never. So in the same way, so it's the only question is, the only obstacle that is there is a question of a man and uni mwanamke, uni mwanaume. But other than that, there is nothing else that is stopping us from having a female president. We just need to have strong women coming on board and presenting themselves. So we have always been ready, and I'm really hoping that a time will come when it's no longer a question of a male president or a female president. It's just a president.
We have a president.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Rachel. Where can we get you on social media?
So you can get me on Instagram. Actually, I'm mostly active on Instagram. The other social media platforms, Facebook, not really active. So you can get me at Rachel_Kalundi.
On Instagram. Thank you so much. If anyone wants to join you on the campaign on period poverty, same place?
Yeah, same place. So you can reach out to me on Instagram, and even on my bio, you'll find the Lampara Kenya handle there. You can talk to us, and actually we encourage many people to come on board, because we go to very many places doing mentorship and taking sanitary towels. So you can even come and we go to your county or your area. The more the merrier.
The more the merrier.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Rachel, for your time.
Thank you for
your knowledge. We are very grateful. That has been Rachel. We will be coming back with more conversations that have been lined up for you.
Our endeavors today lead us to Kariobangi South, where we meet young boys with a big dream, that of using their talents to evade, among other things, poverty. An ordinary day in Kariobangi South will witness young boys and girls how to have fun by playing different sports. It is at the Kariobangi grounds that we meet a team of under 12 boys by the name Handshake.
Wanafanya vile kochare anawaambia. Sengine nasoma nikichoka nacheza PS, nacheza Injustice, naingia na arifu yangu anaitwa Pati.
Driving and riding without incidences on the road is such an amazing experience. But do you know while many road traffic crashes are avoidable, human behavior continues to be the leading cause. Speeding, lane indiscipline, drunk driving, distracted driving, failure to wear a helmet, and failure to use available pedestrian ways have been flagged by NTSA as the fatal 6 behaviors likely to lead to a fatal crash and serious injuries. As part of the Usalama Barabarani campaign, we request all road users to prevent these fatal 6 behaviors for their own safety and that of others. When driving, ensure your speed is within the stipulated limits, the road ahead is clear before overtaking, stick to your lane, keep left unless carefully overtaking, you're well rested if driving on long distances, and you never drink and drive. Usalama Barabarani starts with you. Fika Salama. This message is brought to you by the National Transport and Safety Authority and the European Union.
KUTV, in conjunction with Kenyatta University Funeral Home, is now offering death announcements immediately following on news bulletins at 7 p.m. At this sorrowful time, as you share in your grief, allow us to communicate your announcement of your loved one on KUTV in both Kiswahili and English. For more details, kindly inquire at the KU Funeral Home Service Desk or call 0736 928 380 or dial 020 359 9054.
Welcome to Children's Corner. Welcome to Children's Corner.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us. I apologize for that. I have Tony with me on set. I mentioned about him earlier. He is a wedding hairdresser, the winner of the wedding hairdresser of the year in the recently concluded Kenya Wedding Awards. We have a winner with us. I was at the Kenya Wedding Awards and I was privileged to actually witness Tony get his award. It was a very, very beautiful moment, and he's with us here on set, ready to share with us how his journey has been, where he started, the challenges he has faced. Karibu sana, Tony.
Asante sana.
How are you?
Very well.
How are you feeling this morning?
It was chilling outside.
It is chilling. Kuda baridi sana.
But tuna manage to.
Karibu sana kwenye show.
Asante.
Tuambie Tony ni nani? You know Tony is a wedding hairstylist and you have your own brand. But who is Tony?
Tony ni, what can I say? Jamaa mkuu. Easy, down to earth. Yeah.
Jani yako ilianzia wapi?
Jani yangu ilianza way back. Immediately after high school. Even before I finished high school, mimi nimeshaanza biashara. So I was in the matatu industry. I was a driver by then. I started driving when I was in Form 2.
What?
Yeah. So hili nilisimamia hata mpaka shule. So nilimaliza, my mom thought of can we think of something else?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she had a friend who had a school. He has just opened a school. So they went and talked. Then they came to me and then they asked me if I'll be interested in going to school. Nikawaambia, let's go try. If it works, well and good. If it doesn't, we'll look for something else. So in 2000, that's when I joined Unity College in Burbu. That's why my journey started. So tukiwa huko,
you went to study hair?
Yes. Yeah. Very fresh. I didn't know anything about hair.
At the time, did you have the passion for it, or you were?
I didn't know anything.
You were supporting your mother.
Yes.
Okay.
Disappoint. So I'm just twende. So tukaingia Unity. Then a few months in the school, the principal started noticing something about me. Because in the process, he could notice that in my practical work, I was so excellent in it. In my theory part, I was so excellent in it. So he kept a very keen eye on me. Soon after finishing college, even the last exam, even not the college, the last exam, the principals were there at the door. He was telling me, Minor, now since now you've finished, it was on a Friday, I can remember. I want you to come to work in my salon. So I did tarmac. I was just scooped like immediately.
You just walked,
after
walked straight into it.
To the industry. He supported me, tukafanya job naye. Then there was a competition came.
Hair competition, we're still now in hair.
Yeah, there was a competition came, Kiss 100, whereby people were told to vote for their persons, their driver, their cleaner,
their hairstylist.
Their hairstylist. So everybody was in that pool. So I emerged the winner for the
hairdresser of the time.
Yes.
Was it the ear?
It was for that time. Yeah. So from that, sasa ndo my accolades zikaanza
kwenda kushoot.
Kupanda.
Now, before your mother introduced you to this college, what did you want to become? What were your dreams prior? Really?
Yeah.
You were so open to whatever comes your way.
I'm just like that. I'm a hands person. So anything
hands-on, handiwork.
I was there.
Wow.
Because even in school, I remember I was in metal work. So anything to do with metal, kukunja, kukata, nini, kuchomelea, I was there.
Kazi ya mikono.
I really love
creating things.
Yeah. Yes.
So the journey continued and now you fell in love with hair.
Exactly. So kutoka hapo sasa ndio sasa pia a client pia anaanza ku appreciate because even in the salon itself it was not a competition, but you could see
kila mtu anakukatalia.
We were 4 male hairdressers back then. Na ukiangalia even clients were sitting back, just looking at us and saying, are these guys competing or are they just making our hairs? Because it was so fantastic, so great. Back at them themselves were like up at Toki. So they've just been rotating.
So at first you started as a kawaida hairdresser before you got into wedding hairdressing? Or
yes, for hair, when it comes to hair, the same people are doing for the brides are the same people we've been making ever since. So imefika time ya kuolewa. So wanasema mimi sitana kwa mtu mwingine atakuwa
mtengeneze.
So they come to you. So for you just have to be creative. So that's where the creative part of it comes in. So unapata unakuwa very creative, unakuwa very una design kitu ambayo hata mwenyewe unajishtua.
You normally get your designs from the head.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because once I make you, I notice something.
Na tukiweka hivi na vizuri.
Exactly. So nikipeleka nywele hivi, kwa mtu mwingine ndajua the way I do to you, I'll do the same thing but I'll just twist
kidogo.
Then I'll see the outcome.
So then you sasa ulikuwa hired at the time?
Yes. Yes.
So how was the journey up until sasa umefungua salon yako?
So tulikuwa Unity. Kutoka Unity nikabaiwa. Nikapelekwa Tao. Sijafanya job Tao. That was my first time. Because Buru nimekaa for almost 4 years nikifanya job huko. Nikaenda Tao, tukaingia Kenyari. So Kenyari worked there for 2 years. Then I left. Then went to Lyric House. Worked there for 4 years. Then I decided employment sitaki tena. Now let me go
create your own space.
Yes. So nikaenda Kimathi House. So Kimathi House, worked there for like 12 years.
Allow me to ask, at that time, you had already established your customer base.
Kabisa.
Unajulikana kila mahali.
By the time unaenda kufunga place yako, ndio umeshajulikana. Yes. So you want your own space now. Place utakuwa limited to whatever you want to do.
Yeah. I get it. Yeah. You worked for 12. You're telling me you worked for 12 years.
Then there was suddenly Corona came in. We had to shut down. So stayed outside kidogo. Then sasa nimefungwa tena hapa Westlands. Yeah.
Ukiangalia in the industry, based on your experience, what do you love more? Making kawaida hair or being a wedding hairstylist? What these?
I love challenges. Because for me, I do everything apart from braiding.
Oh.
Yes. Apart from braid, hata kwa college.
You work with natural hair.
Yes. So whatever comes my way, I love the challenges. So ndio itakuja. Yes.
Wow. So basically, what is the most interesting experience that you've had while making someone's hair during their wedding?
The reaction. The reaction really makes you feel you've done a very good job. Yeah.
So uko na that particular memory yenye unakumbukanga always, the one favorite memory you have?
Memories ziko mingi. But this particular nilifanya tu juzi. The last one before I got this.
Yeah.
It was so dramatic. By the Friday, the day before the wedding, it was so crazy.
Chaotic as well.
Chaotic.
Yeah.
But ukienda kwa client asubuhi, because we go very early, like 3-4 a.m. Unaingia pale, unamtengeneza. Alafu unajua you're not sure also, kwa sababu unajua kuna tension mingi sana. The bride is also akona butterflies, she's not sure. My maids pale wanamsumbua, hataki kuvaa, hataki kuoga, hataki kupaka makeup. So kuna commotion mingi sana asubuhi.
Yeah.
So unapata client bride hayuko settled. But unamwambia chill, relax, it will come out nicely. Don't worry. So unapata umeshamaliza kumtengeneza. So unangojea afanywe makeup, umdress, alafu sasa unafanya final touch up. So unapata sasa hapo sasa pia kuna stress mingi sana, kwa sasa wengine wameanza kuingia, everybody wants to kumsalimia. Sasa kwa ni pressure pia kwake. Lakini naambiaga afadhali tuko tuna room yetu tu enclosed place, utashinduki sumbuliwa.
Oh yeah. Also because you also need to concentrate on what you're doing.
Yes. Kwa sababu pale unaweza lose hata vitu ngumu sana, because watu wanaingia wakitoka.
Your equipment, your personal equipment.
Yeah, kwa sababu unakuta mtu anaingia anasema nisaidie na hii, ameenda hata ujini utaanza kuuliza nani asubuhi. It's 4 a.m.
Ushaikuwa na situations umelose your equipment?
Sasa zingine tukusahau, kwa sababu zingine the rush which is there inakuwa gambaya sana. Kwa sababu unakuta imefika 8, gari zimeanza kupiga honi nje, hamjamaliza huko ndani,
hata ndio unafika halfway.
Pressure. Sasa hiyo timekeeper anakuambia anatoka hivyo, tokeni.
I've seen that.
Tokeni.
Hapo sawa.
Iko sawa.
Mtamalizia kwa gari.
Na sasa hiyo bride ameshaanza kutoa machozi.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Na alikuwa amefanywa makeup.
Sasa ndio atajumaliziwa, it's halfway done.
Atatoka tu hivyo pia, ameambiwa pia sasa yeye.
Na sasa sisi tujikausha. Tunasemaga tu hivi.
Anyewe hapana iwezi.
Yeah. Sometimes even you look the door. Utapigia kelele kwa pande nyingine.
You as a stylist, you also need to be firm. Hatoki hivyo.
You have to do your work.
You have to do what you've been paid to do.
Yes.
That is a challenge. Yes. Which leads me to ask, what are some of the challenges you face in your job apart from Nasayo?
Sometimes the bride ama ule person that deal naye doesn't know what they want. They suggest this, they say staki hiyo.
Ama nilikuwa nimeona kama hii Pinterest, ama nilikuwa nimeona hii Instagram.
Then ukisha suggest here, then you advise. When you advise, naambia this one,
your hair cannot work with this.
But then insist. Mimi sasa madam, sio tunataka tusaidiaje? Because this one can't. Yes.
Wow. Now let's move it forward to the Kenya Wedding Awards. I was there, and I was telling you as you were coming in, and I witnessed as you received this award.
Yes.
And you were so tongue-tied and emotional.
Yes.
What were you feeling? So where did it start? Let's start from where it started, from the point where you were nominated all the way to umenominatiwa na make the cut. Sasa kwa the categories.
Yes.
And then now here you are, umeitiwa award. I remember that moment, and it was so emotional.
So what happened? Najua most of the time ushinaka kwa Instagram na Facebook nikipost vitu. So nikabump kwa website ya Wedding Awards, wakasema tuna nominate watu. So if you want to be nominated, just put your name. Na kitu I think ilikianza na Mombasa. Mimi nikasema it doesn't matter. Let me just forward my name. Nika forward. Weeks down the line, I got a message from them. Nikaambiwa, you've been nominated. So, rally your peoples to vote for you. So, ngeniona niki
campaign.
Baka ikidole nikidomba.
Kuna piga campaign pia wewe.
Noma. Then, tukaambiwa sasa voting imeisha. So, the day ni hiyo tarehe. So, come ready, come prepared. Si usiku nikafanya job kawaida, jioni nikafika, nikachange,
ukakuja.
Sasa nikachukua gari hapo nikakuja. So nikapale, sijui mtu wote kwanza. Sasa nikusumkumiaje kwanza.
It was a bunch of service providers, and majority of the people did not know each other.
Yes, so tukakatua hapo, tukakula, na snacks zilikuwa pale. Then sasa at least familia faces kanza kuingia. Tukamwona hapo, tukaambiana tutaingia kwa auditorium. Tukaingia kwa ndani. Sasa sijani kaanza. So najua ile line tuko tumekaa, people were just talking. Hasa mwenyewe kitu ni pressure. Kwa sasa first of all sound was not good. Remember? Sound was not good. There were so many hiccups.
Especially at the beginning.
So napata sasa hii kitu sasa itendaje? Sasa itaposponiwa tena sasa kwa sababu sasa tushafika hapa. Tungoje tu. Tukangojea tukaona sasa ndio mwenzi akaanza job yake. Wakafanya samba nini watu wakaanza kupewa awards. Sasa tukashindwa hii kategoria tumonifiki. Kwani kuna mangapi? So hii ilikuwa
the main concern. Next another one.
Sasa una sweat. Unaanza kuomba hapo. Una cross your fingers. Tukafika kategoria.
What was going through your mind at the time? Na nikishinda na nisiposhinda, what was going through your mind?
Two people were going through my mind nikishinda. One was the principal of unity, and the other one was Palikon member attachment. He's called Juvinaris. Those two people walikuwa
go through your mind.
Yes.
Ukishinda.
Nikishinda.
Usiposhinda. Usingeshinda.
Hata singefikiria kwa sababu
you working with the mind of a winner.
Yes. Alafu tena sasa hawa watu wananimenta kabisa. Kwa sababu nikiwa college Juvinaris akamchukua because for him was working.